All of it.
Yeah, Vegas next week. What?
All the time. Forever.
And we're live.
All right.
Welcome back. Welcome
Sort out
back.
our papers here.
The documents.
Okay, so we got these now. I think we're good.
Oh, we're live.
We got some. We're not live.
Are we live? We're live. We are live.
We're alive.
Oh, well.
We're not
It's
live.
okay to be alive right now.
It's recording. We could edit this whole thing out right now.
That's true.
So we can start right now. Bam. See, this is where the video starts.
Cool. So how's it going?
Starts.
It's been a little while.
Has been a while. Been
Life shit.
crazy
going on.
schedules. You've actually been working.
Yeah, I know.
Just-
I know.
Which
2
is,
weeks in a row.
I mean, 2 weeks in a
Crazy.
row. Everyone, that's just
Crazy.
Could you imagine?
Gotta earn that
what,
paycheck.
What Tyler's going through right now?
Yeah, how
How do you even live?
We've also,
Like,
this
how do
is
you
the tail
function?
end of 2 weeks off in a row, though. So
Yeah,
I don't function.
I don't get
I'm
it.
tired as shit right now. This is nap time right now.
Yeah, wake up at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, nap time at 5
Yeah.
while the wife comes home, drive home. She calls, hey,
Are you
what are you
awake?
doing? Oh, nothing, hanging out on the couch.
I'm just gonna take a nap real quick. Wake me.
I think I'm going to take a nap. Wake me up at 6:30.
How does she feel about all this?
About all what?
All of your schedule,
Everything?
like your work schedule.
Oh, it's nice.
She likes it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for the most part.
Like she doesn't have like spite towards you. Like
Why?
I have to get up every morning and go to work.
Well,
You just
yeah,
gotta sit here
there's
and-
always that.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
always that.
I just want to make sure like her and I are on the same page then.
Yeah, but
But you're just like, meh,
the paycheck pays for everything, so.
right? Yeah, that's true.
Like,
That is.
there's only so much you can bitch about. Like,
Yeah.
hey, guess what? I got to go do this because the bills have to be paid.
Right.
That's basically what it is.
That is pretty cool.
Do you
though.
like your house? Yeah? Okay, well
Okay.
then shut the fuck up
Yeah.
and let me go to work.
Yeah. Well, no, but
It's
I
not
think
really
I
like
think
that,
yeah, I
but-
know. I don't think it is, and I don't want to insinuate anything, but I think that for a lot of people, that's the expectations. I got to get up and go to work.
Yeah.
But you're like, I got to get up and like hang out. Maybe I'll get dressed today. Maybe I'll go 10 days without going outside and seeing the sun.
Yep.
You know.
Then I got to get on a plane at the ass crack of dawn. I actually stopped doing that. I get on planes in the afternoon now.
Nice.
I said, fuck getting in there early.
Yeah.
I get in at like midnight some nights and I got to go to work like at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Do you pick your flight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pick everything.
That's cool.
Staying at the Bellagio next week.
Oh, nice. You're going to Vegas?
Yeah.
To work or for fun?
For work.
Oh, okay.
Got to get shit done.
Okay. I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I
Last
guess.
time I was in Vegas, shortly after, a lot of people got murdered in Vegas.
Yeah.
And they all went to the hospital that I upgraded.
I
So I saved lives directly.
direct.
They did. They got 100. They had
there was,
130 people from the shooting in Vegas show up at that hospital because it's got a level 3 trauma center.
Wow.
And yeah, they saved like everybody that came there.
The one thing I always found annoying with that whole thing was the people that were there like a week before, a week after, or maybe even during, but like they, you know, because I had a friend who went, I think he was there the weekend before, and he's like, I was just there. Oh no! It's like,
Yeah, man, literally dodged a bullet.
yeah, you were like Neo.
Get
just
to the
now.
chopper.
Yeah,
and they're,
how-
like, running in there.
How did you like? No one knew.
No.
It's not like you were like, you should have stepped. You know, why are you leaving today? There's going to be something going on next weekend. It's going to be pretty hot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Because I get people are always just like, it could have been me. Like, you know, anything could. Like, we could get hit by a gamma
Yeah.
burst right now. And
Could have
everything's
been
done.
you.
You can get
Wasn't,
a car
so-
accident, but you know,
Fucking.
I don't know.
That's life, man.
I feel like nowadays everyone wants to be like a victim.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And so if you're not, and you're just like, well, I can relate to that
Perfect way
because
to
I
segue
was-
into your thing.
I was just there. Yeah. Well,
Because everybody wants to be a victim.
yeah. But everyone wants to be a victim. Everyone wants to be unique.
Unique, yeah, unique victims.
Yeah. And every case is special.
I can't
Special.
believe you just found out about this.
No, I didn't. It's been one of those things. So it's the same thing that I have like with religion. Like when I first like discovered that it's a lie,
Yeah.
like, you know, I was just like, okay, I'm just going to keep it to myself, you know, like, and then people would believe and like people would partake in like rituals or what have you. And I wouldn't really care.
Jesus.
Like prayer, Tyler.
Oh.
I just didn't want to be
Oh.
so specific to one
rituals.
denomination
What are we,
of
fucking
religions
summoning demons
on
and shit?
the planet of Earth. I don't know what it's for. It might be. In some cases, that's probably
Definitely
what they're doing.
is.
Like,
I mean,
but yeah. So like when I first started out, I was just like, yeah, whatever. Like don't really care. It doesn't bother me. And then it started happening. Like more people would say something, and then what really triggered it is I had some
triggered. Boom.
Yeah. Oh, I got triggered. I had someone come to my house, and they were missionaries.
Yeah.
And they knock on the door, and it's dinner time, and like I open it, and I don't ever, whoever it is, unless like I know it's a friend or something, I don't open it all the way. I keep it cracked a little bit, and it's just like you get my head,
Yeah.
essentially. And I'm like, "What's up?" And they're like, "Hey, we're here to, just want to talk to you." I'm like, "It's dinner time." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, we won't take up too much time." And I'm like, "You're taking up more time." I'm just like not trying to be rude. I was just like, "Okay, yeah, well, we're eating right now." They're like. So they're just kind of talking. They're like, well, we just wanted to talk to you about like the Bible and Jesus. I'm like, I don't believe in that. And they're like, oh, well, don't you ever want to find happiness in your life? And so I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You want to go there.
You want to go there.
I'm like, look, son.
Kid.
Yeah. Sport. You're
Punk bitch.
You're 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
Probably have never seen a woman naked.
Yeah.
Like, and you're
going to tell me about happiness?
You're traveling across the country, coming to my front door. I'm eating dinner with my family, mind you.
Yeah.
And have plenty of happiness. Like, I don't think that you need Jesus to be happy. I think there's plenty of things out there that can make you happy. Right. Sunsets are pretty, Yeah. That's not Jesus.
It can make you happy.
Make you feel something, stimulate an emotional response.
Yeah.
And so I get a little annoyed at that. And I'm like, you know
I
what?
Fucking pulled out a gun already and been done the whole. My dad, universal sign for get the fuck off my front step is a shotgun charging.
And so then, like, I was at that point. I was mad. I was like, I am plenty happy with the life that I live.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I feel no stress or I have no fear of like. Implying that like I don't live my life. I don't live in happiness out of fear because I'm afraid to go to like some prison if I don't follow some crazy sadistical person's rules. And so I kind of have exchanged a little. And at this point I'm a little bit more elevated in my tone, like just kind of like frustrated, and they can visibly see it. So he starts to go a little snarky. He's just like starts to get just this. Kind of like high horse like attitude. Yeah. And he's just like, well, if you ever want to find the meaning or purpose in your life. And I was like, and then at that point I was just like, all respect, everything gone. You just killed it. What little humanity I was having for you. So finally I was like, listen, I want you to leave right now, because if you're coming to try to tell me to find purpose in my life, I already know you're doing something wrong and you don't have purpose in your life. Yeah. I'm like, so I would appreciate it if you would leave, and I'd never want to see you or anyone from your church back at my house. Haven't seen them back yet since. So maybe they got the message, or maybe they're just like, wait for a new fresh.
Saved a lot of time. Open the door. Oh, you're missionaries? Fuck off! And slam the door in their face.
When I started the thing, I was just like trying to be like, hey, now, although I have to give credit to the Jehovah's Witnesses, and I don't know if they're just getting desperate now for members or I don't follow them that much, but they are the nicest people when they come to the door. I'm actually like, hey, yeah, how you doing? I'm never going to believe this crazy stuff, so you know. Right. And they're like, that's fine. We just want to, get to know you. And I'm like, okay, cool.
You have Jehovah's?
Yeah, we get a lot of handouts from them.
These lights are going to make me sneeze.
Do it.
Okay, go.
Do it.
Keep going.
Sneeze.
Not sneezing yet.
Do it.
It's gone. It's gone.
Do
It's
it.
gone.
I see it in your eye.
It's fleeting.
Yeah. So, but that's kind of like, and then, different incidents from that, like encounters and stuff. Like I had someone on Facebook one time message me and be like, maybe the reason you don't believe is because you've never given it a fair shot. Oh. And I was like, dang. I was like, okay, understandable. I could see why you would feel that way. I'm like, but it's not something you need to give a fair shot. You simply just look at the evidence and you go, oh, okay, this is crazy. Yeah. Just read the Bible. It's one of my favorite things ever is like, there's that story in the Bible where, this guy had some daughters, and his daughters would get him drunk and then rape him to get pregnant.
Wow.
And that's perfectly fine. And that teaches you morals, though. I know that the Bible is all about morals. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm glad I didn't just give it,
All right.
a fair shot. And it's like, and again, I did. I was raised
right.
Christian, and I was part of a church for many years. And I remember thinking a lot like, oh, I believe this.
Yeah.
And
convincing yourself that you believe it.
You have to well, everyone else does, so I should too. And so it's just that kind of same thing has happened over the last couple of years now with this uniqueness and how everyone needs their. It's like I'm all about personal identity. I'm all about independence and stuff, but I feel like not everything needs a label.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest issue.
Just be you.
Yeah.
And stop fucking making sure everybody knows you are you.
Right.
We don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't care.
We don't care.
It's like
we don't care.
Yeah.
We don't fucking care. Just be you.
Yeah, just be you. I will.
I don't got time for your ass.
As a human, I can respect you and I can love you as a human, but I don't need to know your story. I got my own story. I got my own problems,
I got enough story to write 4 books.
Right. Yeah.
Go get 4 books worth of stories,
And
and
then
then maybe
just
tell me a little bit about it. Maybe that'd be interesting in conversation where you don't tell me about the bullshit you.
And it's fine to tell me your stories.
Yeah.
And I'm all like, I love hearing, people, what they go through and stuff. I think it's fascinating. But when it has to have a label, and then if you don't address it as such, like the pronoun thing now.
Thing.
There's neutral pronouns. I
didn't even know
gender positive.
Where did they come
pronouns.
up with this?
I don't know.
Where does this come up?
There's
with? There's
teams of people
came out of nowhere.
Well, I think like it, to some extent, probably in some cases, but I think it's been something that's been ongoing for a while, and it's just starting to pick up traction. Because I think like small
in the broom
circles,
closet of the basement in a fucking university or something.
Actually,
like that?
all universities now are all about this.
I know they are.
When you can have students completely,
I'm aware,
make the president of Evergreen University feel ashamed for himself for being animated in how he talks. Like this is what I'm doing right now is a microaggression.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone out there right now is being like, "Put your hands down." Yeah. Oh, snapping? What are you doing that
No,
for?
that's how they clap.
Oh, yeah.
Because clapping is an aggression.
Oh, really?
It could trigger somebody.
Well, I know it that's how I do it sometimes at work in staff meetings because it's like a poetry reading thing like that. I know that's how you clap in.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a microaggression.
Dude.
Snapping could be a microaggression. To me, that's like, hurry up. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's like, chop, motherfucker.
I'm triggered right now.
Dude, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
But it's just that whole...
I feed off of triggering simple-minded folk.
Professional troll.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's one thing that I miss doing. Like, because sometimes I'll still try to troll people on Facebook, but it's just like, it's not even worth it.
Nah, dude. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Stay the fuck off that. I'd delete it right now if I didn't have so many people on there that's the only way I can stay in touch with them.
Yeah, I've thought about deleting it. There's one person on Facebook that has made it to where I don't think I'll ever delete it. And it's just because I can never get them as a friend again, So,
yeah.
Because I go on to his page weekly.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite daily, but every other day.
Yeah.
Just to...
I mean, you live with his namesake, though.
I do. And
so,
that's good.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm every day I'm reminded of him, but...
Yeah.
But it's just that's the one reason why I'm definitely not as active anymore on it. But
yeah, I should be less active. It's like a cancer.
I've been kind of going to Twitter.
I just don't want to do any social media at all.
Well, the nice thing about Twitter that I found is that you can it's restricted already to what you can you can say.
140 characters.
Well, no, I think they doubled it. Now it's like 280, I think.
Oh, wow.
Or it's longer. I know you can do longer things now, but people way around that is they would just type up long things and take a screenshot of it and then post the screenshot. And it's like, okay, you clever.
Clever.
I'm not going to read all that, so keep scrolling. But I've tweeted at a couple people before, and they've responded to me. Not like A-list celebrities, but people that are, mediocrely famous.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good tool.
It's a good platform.
Yeah. And then it's I follow Donald Trump on Twitter. And every time I tell people that, they're just like, "Oh, you're a Donald Trump supporter." I'm like, "No, he's the president of the United States." It's
yeah,
I like to know what's going on, and
that motherfucker uses Twitter more than anybody else.
Lot,
so pretty good way to keep track of what's going
But
on
when he
with
called
old
out
Trump.
When he called out Joe
Don.
Biden last week,
I heard about this.
and
I don't know the details.
first I thought it was just like, because I thought it was like a troll account. Like, you know, people will
Didn't
take.
Joe Biden like threaten physical violence against him or some shit?
So if you watch the video and understand the full context, he doesn't threaten him with violence.
Okay.
What he says is like, if he was in college, Donald Trump's the type of person that he would like fight. You know.
Okay.
So it's more like.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I do that.
But he didn't be
sometimes.
like, I'm gonna go kick his ass.
I told somebody on Facebook the other day that I said, if we were having this conversation in like face to face, I would have already smashed your face in by now. And the guy goes,
a little different because you are like in like
and the guy
implying-
goes, are you physically threatening me? And I said, sure, if that's the way you want to take it.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know that if we had this conversation and you were talking to me the way you are, I would have already smashed your teeth down your throat.
I mean, yeah, but that is like
I didn't really
physical harm.
I didn't threaten him.
about
I
a
just let him
current
know
thing.
that like, hey, if we were at a
Yeah.
table in person and you spoke to me like that, I'd beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah, I mean that's similar.
It's just letting somebody know that like,
If the situation was different,
were you not behind a computer monitor
Right.
and a keyboard in another state,
right,
you'd
protected.
get your
by-
fucking ass beat for
Yeah.
talking like that to certain people. Show some fucking
Yeah.
respect.
Absolutely.
Like there's a way to make an argument and be respectful.
Right.
Yeah, because he was like using those stupid fucking words like triggered and shit.
Well, I always find that people that don't know what they're talking about
Yeah.
get defensive or aggressive.
Oh yeah. He
Like-
was being passive aggressive.
Yeah.
He was trying to be a victim. Like
Oh,
he was
okay.
waiting for me to get triggered
Yeah.
and get aggressive so that he could flip it and be like, "Oh my god, you're threatening me. Oh my god."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Dude, what a pussy." Like you started this shit.
Right.
You knew what you were doing cuz
Yeah.
it's fucking plain as day that that's what you were doing. I called you on your bullshit and just let you know that if you talked to me like that in person, I'd beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
And he didn't like that. I was like, "All right, this conversation's over then, bud."
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't need to talk to you. Like, I don't even
Yeah.
fucking know you. Like,
Yeah, I don't need
see
this.
you later.
Well, but
You're a
that's what I was-
friend of a friend.
That's what I'm saying. Like getting back to like everyone being special and stuff. I already have too many people in my life that I actually care about.
Yeah.
That I don't need. Like I was talking to someone. This was years ago, mind you, like over a decade ago. And there's this song from a band, and it's just like it like part of the words. It's like I heard Ian Curtis killed himself again in your bed. Like that's the lyric. This guy's name was Curtis, and so I was like, "Hey, Curtis," and I sang that part to him, and he looks at me, and he's just like, "My best friend killed himself, so don't ever say that to me again." And I was just like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry, didn't know. I mean, you don't have it tattooed on your forehead.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to know that? Like, I'm not assuming anything."
Yeah.
And it's that kind of mentality.
Yeah.
Like you walk up,
he
you're like,
could
"Hey,
have
what's up,
approached
man?"
that
You're like,
differently.
"Man, what?"
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, sorry. I mean, I'm not saying it." In
All right,
like
psychopath.
yeah, I'm not saying it like in a sex term. I'm just like, "Hey,
Triggered.
pal, buddy,
Yeah.
like friend."
Not your buddy, guy.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly.
Like, fuck off. You don't want to be called man. All right, guy.
Yeah.
Dude.
But it's
Bro.
not even doesn't want to be called man. It's like, are you like that's a masculine term, and that's
It's a fucking word in
That's
the English
offensive-
dictionary
offensive
that I
to-
can use.
the struggle that women have gone through for the last
Because that's what
since
you meant.
existence.
You came into that
like,
with
whoa.
you said that word, man, and that's everything that was going through your
I was like,
mind.
how did you
behind
know
it.
that's what I
mind
meant?
readers,
Yeah.
man. Like
But it's
getting offended that you didn't know somebody's friend killed themselves.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, well, maybe
Well,
your
and that
friend
was-
shouldn't have been a statistic.
that was I wasn't like crass about it.
I mean, you're opening the door.
Right.
When he said that shit, I would have been like, oh, fair game now,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
yeah. But I was just kind of like, I was like, I'm sorry. How was I supposed to
Yeah.
know? Like, you never told me that before.
Right?
So I was just singing a song lyric. Don't need to
Yep.
get all over.
Overreacting. and
Overreacted.
Just, yeah, wanted to be little whiny little bitches, man.
Yeah.
Tired of that shit.
And this was before Triggered and all that stuff. Like, this is pre-T, you know?
Yeah, so he was like the hipster
He was like
of Triggered.
Yeah, one of the OGs.
Cool before it was cool.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, nowadays, these days,
Yeah.
people are just
Fucking these days.
Too-
See how well it
Yeah.
works?
People are just too
sensitive, man.
Way too sensitive.
Way too sensitive. And then they send people that aren't sensitive enough to sensitivity training.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Nobody needs that bullshit.
Just said to me today. Yeah. Homeboy said it. I was like, someone just said I need to go to sensitivity training. So what I said was, and this might be, I don't know, a little inappropriate, but we were talking about exterminators. Because we need to get one for the office because I guess there's mice or something. Yep. Allegedly, someone is hearing mice in the ceilings. And so they were like, what's the exterminator you use? And I was like, oh, I don't use them. I just have heard about them. I was like, I'm my own exterminator. And then they were like saying, oh, that's interesting. I'm like, yeah, it's crazy, though, how much I get into it. And I said, if I was 14 years old, I would be worrisome that I'm the next Jeffrey Dahmer. and everyone was like, whoa, like you can't say stuff like that. I'm like, what do you mean? Like,
why can't you say
I'm just
stuff
saying,
like that?
Like, I'm not going to be. I'm just saying, like,
wait,
the
why did they say that? Why was that their reaction?
I don't know. I was weird. Do you know? You reacted that way. You were the one that said I needed sensitivity training.
Dude.
But it was just what I was implying was like, I get too into it.
You're running with the wrong crowd, man, because that's not going far enough, in my opinion. Like, I mean, I'd be like, well, I could fix you up some bicep later on. Jeffrey does recommend it as the best part of the body to eat.
Oh, does he? That's good bicep?
Yeah. That was his most favorite part of the human to eat, was the bicep.
Yeah. But it was what I was implying was like, it's kind of sick how, like, I made the joke meaning that it's disturbing. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not killing people,
It's
but
a good analogy.
I get it. Torturing scorpions mostly. Like, and the only thing I've ever really done is I cut off their tail and I cut off their pinchers.
Yeah.
And then I spray them with a little bit of poison and just put them in a jar.
You're doing it wrong.
And just watch them suffer. I mean, okay, when I explain it that way, fine.
Spray them with lighter fluid and light them on fire.
Yeah, but that's, I don't know.
Death by fire after you chop off their limbs. You got to cauterize the wounds.
Yeah. That is true.
You got to cauterize the wounds or else they'll bleed out.
That is true. And I've only done that like twice. Like most of the time I spray them and then it's like
basic
I'll squish them.
Self-aid buddy care right here.
But it's not like I wasn't saying like, oh yeah, I just want to cut them up. Like, that's not what I was implying. I was saying it's sick, like how much I like the exterminating side of it. And it's mostly just scorpions.
These same fucking people probably own cats, and their cats fuck shit up way more worse than you ever could.
Right.
Cats like play with their food, and toy with it, and fuck with the cat and mouse. There's a reason why there's a term called cat and mouse.
Yeah. It's because they're bastards.
Yeah, because they fucking toy with.
Personally, I don't like cats.
I fucking hate cats.
Can't stand cats. My daughter loves cats, so that makes it difficult because I can't be like, no. I mean, I can and I do, but what I mean is like I can't say some of the stuff I'd want to say.
Yeah.
So, for example, we don't like to lie to our daughter.
You probably just shouldn't lie, period. But that's
in general.
All right.
But there's definitely some people. Well, and I will say it's not lying, although I attest it to a type of lying is when you filter yourself.
Yeah.
That's kind of lying.
Yeah, you're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to the person as well, because you're not being honest with them. So there's definitely times people say things and I'm just like, okay. And that to me is a form of lying. But I feel like it's better because I know if I say something, it's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
So I might as well just like let it go, move on, drink a soda, be good.
Yeah.
So what we do though is like, ever since my daughter was young, and she likes eating chicken, she likes hamburgers, the meat. She doesn't really like the bread too much, but we always like tell her like, so we'll see chickens, and we were at a farm one time and there was this big fat chicken, and I was like, wouldn't that one be delicious to eat? And she just was like, you don't eat chicken, like in her little baby voice. And I'm like, absolutely we do. I'm like, when we feed you chicken and we say, eat your chicken. And so she kind of was like, you could see it, like it kind of was clicking, but it was like, wait, what? So since doing that, she was probably like maybe 2.5, 3, or so.
Yeah.
Now she's almost 5, and she'll even tell me like, we'll see a big cow and she'll be like, steaks. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. Good steaks. That's grass-fed steaks.
Yeah, definitely not going to be a vegan.
Right. And no intent. I mean, and if she does, that's fine. Like that, whatever. I don't care. But so on that note, like we don't ever like to sugarcoat things or, whatever. So there was this cat that always went to her grandparents' house, and we would feed it food, and I was very civil to the cat.
Yeah.
Wasn't being aggressive towards it. And I would help her feed the cat, and the cat really liked playing with her. And I was like, okay, she's establishing a bond. This is fine.
Yeah.
So the next morning we wake up and she's like, I want to go outside. I want to go see if the cat's there. And so we go outside and we're looking. We don't see it. We're like, well, it's a stray. It's a feral cat. It's probably out doing feral cat business. And then the day's going on, and a little bit later, and we're out on a walk, and across the road I can see there's this little black thing just like there.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that's the same color as the cat. I'm like, oh, it might be sleeping. Well, a few more hours go by and it's still not moving. I'm like, oh, okay.
Cat's dead.
Someone hit that cat. Someone ran it over. And so, like, she makes a comment. She's like, oh, I want the cat to come back. And I just look at her. I'm like, oh, sweetie, the cat's dead. And she's like, what? So I take her over to the road. I don't take her up to the cat, but I'm like, you see that over there? Like, the cat was probably playing in the road, which is why we tell you what, not to play in the road.
Yeah.
Let's use this as a positive moment here. There's a learning experience for all of us. So I'm like, the cat was probably playing in the road, got hit by a car, and someone just scooted off to the side.
Yeah.
So she's like, is it going to be okay? And I'm like, no, actually not. It's not okay at
dead.
all. It's dead. It's
D-E-D,
it's
dead.
Yeah, D-E-D, dead.
Yep.
See, he says it too. It's not just a me thing.
Yeah, you say it too.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
People
just
got to
get people on board with dick tied to their asshole, and we're all good.
Right. Again, I don't want to get into this. We've already covered that topic, but yeah. So I tell her that, and I don't take pleasure in the cat's dead.
Right.
But it's
you're not feeling any remorse either.
I'm like, yeah, it happens. It's feral cats. It's life.
Yeah.
The same thing. We have a coyote that lives in our neighborhood, and it's a very cool coyote. Like you see it, it sees you. It's just like, okay. You walk your separate ways, no harm, no foul. No human's ever been attacked by said thing. And in fact, most people like animal control, they know that it's there, and they have it tagged, and they just keep an eye on it, type of thing. But it eats these cats.
Yeah.
And so typically a cat will see it in our neighborhood, and
I think I've seen this coyote in your neighborhood.
In my neighborhood?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it exists.
He was crossing the road in broad daylight.
And it's just,
what's up, dog?
You're just like, hey, what's up?
Hey, man.
What's up? What's going on?
My dog would kill you, but
yeah. It's cool.
You keep on keeping on.
But it survives on eating these stray cats in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so we'll see some cats sometimes, and then they disappear. And my daughter's always like, there was this orange one, and she named it Cheddar. And she's like, where's Cheddar? And I'm like, well, it's possible Cheddar just moved to a different neighborhood.
Yeah.
But something you have to think about is that coyote might have eaten it. And she's, I do that too because it's like a circle of life thing,
Yeah,
it's like when Mufasa was explaining it to Simba, the gazelles
I like where this is going.
eat the grass. Yeah. We eat the gazelles, and when we die, we become part of the grass, and then the gazelles eat the grass. It's all that circle of life. There you go.
Yeah.
We need to get sponsored by Disney so we can play Disney
I
songs.
I know.
They would never go for that.
Colors of the Wind.
Like
we're definitely not Disney friendly.
We said Disney already, so we're probably
huge
gonna
Disney
get
fans.
Yeah,
huge Disney fans.
like Die Hard. I always tell people, I'm like, I have all of the Disney albums on my phone, and they're like, oh, because your daughter. I'm like,
no.
Okay, let's go with that.
But, Hillary Duff tribute channel.
But I've had that since 2005, and she was born in 2013. So
back in 2008. Hillary Duff tribute channel.
I remember that.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that was a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
Ventrilo. Does people ever use that now?
No.
It's all about Discord.
Discord's it.
Is Mumble still a thing?
No.
No.
Not even Discord
Mumble?
or get the fuck out.
GTFO, huh?
Yep. Some people might still use TeamSpeak.
TeamSpeak is still a thing.
TeamSpeak 3, yeah.
TeamSpeak 3.
Not a fan. It's just not as smooth and interactive and can do everything that Discord can. Right. Discord's got it.
Yeah.
I don't know what they did, where they came from.
I think what they did was they saw a need. Like Ventrilo was great.
Yeah, really good.
Because it was high quality voice, but that's all you could really do with it.
But it was not very media friendly.
It wasn't media friendly. It wasn't very intuitive. It was living in the 90s.
Yeah.
You
type in an IP address for your server
to connect to it
or a URL. Yeah. No.
And it was very, very old school. Discord though, it's you can do the chat, you can do images, videos,
got a
linking,
persistent wall. Photos, music.
You can make a profile and join different
ones,
channels and stuff,
and they all show up on the left side, and you can just pick which one you want to join.
Yeah. So I think they took something and just brought it into the
21st century.
Yeah, 21st century.
They're amazing.
And so I think that it's a great platform. I mean,
it's super good. I like it a lot.
I'm not biased towards anyone. I mean,
can get it on your phone. They have a phone app, and it works really well.
Well, it works great for that's where I text a lot of the stuff for this that you never respond to.
I know.
So it tells me you don't use it.
I have like 20.
So
I have like
you're
20
plugging
Discord
the phone
channels.
app, but you don't even use the phone app.
I don't use the phone app. So, I turn off all push notifications because my phone would be constantly blowing up if I left them on Discord because I'm like a part of
Mr.
like
Popular
20 Discord servers.
Yeah, you're like bragging over here.
Yeah.
I'm part of just so many groups, right?
You know whose Discord blows up the most is Riser's Discord. Riser's Discord is
Riser?
Like,
you still talk to Riser?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, Jeffrey.
Little Jeffrey?
Jeffrey number 2.
Yeah. He still works at Dillard's.
Does he really?
I was like,
we made a creep on this.
Well, I don't know if he could have been trolling me though. Because
he might.
He's professional troll.
He is.
But I was like, hey man, do you still live like in the area? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, do you still work at Dillard's? He's like, yeah, I do. So we're talking about, I'm like, you can't work at Dillard's for like 13 years and not be running. Like if you're not CEO of Dillard's, you know, like I don't think he's really working.
That's how I feel about like people that are like forever fast food workers. They're like 40. It's like, how are you not like the regional manager by now?
How do you not own this place?
Like, what?
People make it work.
Dude.
The thing that
I don't understand.
Well, but those are the winners though, in my opinion. Because clearly he's holding down a job.
Yeah.
For multiple durations. He's living his life. He's not like having to run from people and all that stuff.
Right.
He might not be buying the nicest things.
Yeah, but as long as
he's probably meeting his needs.
Yeah.
And it probably gives him flexibility to do what he wants. You know, maybe he can wake up late. Maybe he has the weekends off. Who knows?
I mean, if you got it set up like that, great.
Yeah, and it's good for you.
I don't think that's the case with a lot of people that work in positions
but I think
like
a lot of people take those positions, they approach it negatively. There was this thing, I think Jarrell had it hanging up in his office, or maybe it was someone else that you shared an office with at one point. But it's something I say all the time because I really believe it. And I tell it to everyone that I see it happening to. But the quote is, the problem is not the problem. The problem is your attitude about the problem.
Yeah.
And it's really one of those things that's so true. Like the issue isn't like, whatever you might be dealing with.
Yeah.
The issue is that you're dealing with it poorly.
Right.
Like you're making it seem like, oh, I have to work at fast food.
Right.
Like,
instead of being like, all right, I know I got to work at fast food for a year to get to here, to get to there, to get to here.
Stepping stones.
Yeah.
Everyone wants that instant gratification.
Dude,
though.
get the fuck out of here with that shit. That's not how it works.
Not how it works at all.
Later on down the road, it starts working out like that, but that's
when you start getting more like when people know you and you have options, then you can be like, hey, I'm going to go here, or you guys need to do this. And it's like, oh yeah, we'll do that, or go there and make it happen.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you're fresh and because it's one thing that's always crazy is like when kids graduate, whether high school or college, you're graduating with literally hundreds of other people.
Yeah, you think you're better than them?
In one section. Where graduation is happening nationwide.
Yeah.
So there's
every other university.
Hundreds of thousands, and you're thinking that like, well, I'm different.
You're the special snowflake that's going to make it happen.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm different. Okay? So like, no.
You're not.
You're not. I'm sorry to tell you this. You're not. Like, and
you probably got a shitty fucking degree too.
Right.
Like
I'm an art major.
I'm sorry, but
I know things.
Psychology is the shittiest fucking thing to get a degree in.
It is to get a degree in, but it's one of the most fascinating subjects.
It is, but guess what? I know plenty of people that have psych degrees that know nothing about psychology or clinical psychology.
Right.
Like, at all.
Yeah.
They probably couldn't even tell you who fucking Darwin was, or who, what's the fucking dude? Freud. That's it. That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
But Darwin is like what, sociology?
Darwin is more so his maybe sociology because they focus
biology.
More on like,
biology.
Biology could fall into that, but there's a lot of people that don't recognize it as biology in the evolution or survival of the fittest, and that's one thing too. It's not evolution; no one can refute that. What it is evolution through natural selection is what people usually have a problem with. Is the macro evolutions like a single cell being able to go into. Someone made a comment one time that was like DNA is made up of only 4 different type like blocks or whatever.
Correct.
They're like, so that you can't have these complex people with only 4 things.
What are they called? Ribonucleic acids, right?
Yeah, something to that effect. So my response to them, and it was great because they didn't respond.
That's RNA. Sorry.
No, the
RNA, and then what's DNA?
DNA, I don't know. But it's like 4 blocks.
I got what you're talking about.
It's like F, like there's different letters. I don't know them off the
T.
What are the 4 blocks of DNA?
Look it up, dude.
So we can speak intelligently to it.
GAT.
Yeah. I think there's an F though.
There's definitely not an F.
There's not an F?
No.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm confusing with T because it has the thing. But anyway, he was like, there's only 4 blocks of DNA. How can you have like these complex things with just 4, like all these combinations of species with just 4 blocks? And I was just like, well, look at books. They're only ever made of 26 different letters.
Yeah.
And you can
millions
have
of fucking books.
How many different varieties of books? You can have children's books.
Totally right. It's
GACT.
GACT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are they?
Thymine.
Thymine.
Cytosine.
Cytosine, yeah.
Adenine.
Adenine.
Guanine.
Yeah, guanine.
I can't read.
Yeah, guanine, cytosine.
To be fair, sir,
Yeah.
I cannot read.
So. Got it.
That was a hard one.
They're acids though, aren't they?
For what?
What are they? What are those?
What do you mean?
What are they like?
Nitrogenous nucleobase?
No.
No? What are
Nitrogenous nuclear base. What?
Pyrimidines?
What?
No, I'm seeing a lot of big words here.
Okay. All right. We'll save it for
Pyrimidines?
later. I'm pretty sure they're
Covalent
fucking.
bonds?
They're
No?
covalent bonds are what like bond them together.
Phosphate.
No, it would be like right at the top.
What
Terrell, like
what
the
does
first
DNA
line.
stand for?
Okay, that's what you gotta ask.
What does IT mean?
It.
Yeah.
You want a balloon, Georgie? Like, ooh, it. Not that kind of it.
No.
Oh, that's another big word. Deoxyribonucleoacid?
Acid. But that's what you were saying, is that they're acids.
That's what it says. There's a picture
Dioxy.
Is it the double helix
there.
picture?
Ribonucleic acid, yeah.
Is it-
Dioxyribonucleic acid.
Is it the double helix is the picture?
I got a sweet new shirt it's a tree of life, and the trunk of the tree is a double helix. It's not this shirt.
I was going to say, that doesn't look like what
but
you're telling
I have
me.
I have a new shirt that it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It looks badass.
Is it I want to support your brother somehow.
Into the AM? Yeah.
But I just can't get, I was looking at those hoodies that they were having sale. I'm like,
I
these
got
are
the
really
one.
good prices. I know you said the space thing. And I was like,
Yeah.
that one's cool, but it's just too much.
It is a lot. Like, there's a lot going on
cost.
that. It's a lot
Like, it's
going
just-
on the fucking
yeah.
piece of clothing. Yeah.
Right.
It's not me, really. I like more subdued. Like, I want more solid color
Yeah.
on the shirt than there is, like, picture.
Yeah.
Or, like, graphics.
Or spots.
Yeah.
Or
But-
things.
I like it. It's warm. And it's made out of, like, this really funky material, like a neoprene. Like, really, like, it's thin, but you can tell that it's warm when you put it on.
That's cool.
Because it makes
So
you
it's
warm.
like lightweight.
Yeah, but it's not.
But it keeps you warm in Tucson.
It's weird. I don't know how to
So-
describe it, but it's nice. I like it a lot.
Yeah. I can't.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the
It's
hardest
busy.
thing.
It's real busy.
Yeah. A lot of stuff.
It's
lot of
real
stuff.
busy.
Like, I mean, I'm a very simple person.
Yeah.
My sister actually brought up like a while ago. She was like, I remember when you decided that you were going to stop wearing like branded clothing. I was like,
You like
really?
made a conscious effort?
Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to advertise for people anymore. Like, I'm not going to, they're not paying me.
I am for one of my favorite Twitch streamers.
Yeah, what does that say?
Adrian.
Oh.
I'm wearing an origin shirt.
Yeah. he's wearing an Origin shirt.
Yeah.
Fucking product placement right there too on
Huge
the
product
on
placement.
the table.
Origin,
I actually can't see.
where you can get an amazing custom build PC delivered right to your door
If you can't fucking build
for
it
a
yourself,
ridiculous price. Yeah.
like
So, but the nice thing is,
stupid.
so we purchased Origins at work.
I'm sorry, but
I'm a little offended right now. A little
if anybody's in IT
microaggressions.
or knows anything about
Judging
if you use a
people.
fucking computer, you should know how to build one. It's that easy. It's not
It's
hard.
easy for sure.
It's like really easy.
Yeah, but
Like
there's,
it's definitely not what it used to be like 20 years ago.
I agree, but also disagree for different reasons.
It's fucking color coded, man.
A lot of stuff is,
It's color coded.
but one of the issues is nowadays you have different socket types for the same series of processors.
You had to match a number to another number?
It's
my gosh.
Tyler.
Rocket surgery for sure.
It can be challenging to individuals who are impaired in certain mental capacities.
Don't touch the circuits with your bare fingers.
Don't touch copper.
What if you don't have fingers?
If you don't have fingers, don't use your mouth.
Get a grounding bracelet. If you don't have one, always put your hand on the case, metal part of the case too.
You know what? That's kind of bullshit too, because you know what I did last time? No grounding strap.
Feet on carpet.
On carpet, just fucking.
In a onesie.
Yep.
Everything you touch zapped, and you were like,
oh yeah.
While eating Cheetos. I just created this visual in my head. Yep. You were eating Cheetos.
Because I'm a basement
The puffy
dweller.
ones. You had the orange, the little orange stuff that was all over your fingers.
Puffs, yeah.
You're licking them, and you were like,
And then I grabbed my
I picture you dancing
1080
too.
Ti.
You're sliding your feet on the thing, and you're like, gonna install a graphics card.
Yep. That was me.
Yeah. That's what I pictured for all you lovely listeners who wanted to know the visual that I had.
Yep.
I mean, I think there's some truth to it. I think it's more of like every single thing ever has like do not take if you're pregnant or nursing. It's just like a liability thing. It's like, what does this do? It's like nothing, but they put it on there just to CYA,
What?
Like they say, don't touch a motherboard on carpet.
Gotcha.
It's more of just like a general guideline.
It can fuck it up.
Like there's probably reason.
It'll short out
it.
stuff.
It can. I think like if the right circumstances happen, it can.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, you're probably right. Like it's the same thing I always tell people: never touch the copper on RAM or on graphics cards. But people do, and it still works.
Yeah.
So it's like it's more of just like a best practice.
People are just afraid of computers and the internal workings of computers.
Well, because they don't want to disturb the wizard who lives in there.
Dude.
Who's casting all of his spells.
I am a wizard.
To make Google happen. So.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
You don't want to upset the wizard.
Don't learn how to build a fucking computer.
Yeah.
Stay
ignorant.
Ignorant and under a rock.
And then hire people.
And make sure that I still have a job in the future.
Exactly.
Even though you wouldn't catch me building fucking PCs for a living to save my life.
Well, but so here's a funny story about Origin, and if this burns any potential future sponsorships, I am sorry, everyone at this table.
Yeah.
But we
didn't want them anyways.
We made
I buy power, bro.
Yeah. We made a conscious decision this last time when we did a PC refresh, instead of building them, to go through a supplier. And I was like, Origin's good because you can customize your part list. So it's almost like I'm building them, but they warranty it,
Yeah.
So we thought we'll go for the warranty. On a work setting, we'll just deal with that. So it's not I'm the warranty,
Yeah.
So within like 2 months, one of the computers is dying, and I run my initial diagnostic. I'm like, I got this. I'm first level support.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so it's either the motherboard or the CPU. That's what it came down to. I'm like, I'm not going to replace this. I'll just send it in we have a warranty on it.
Yeah.
So I initiate the support thing. I call them. I talk the lingo. I tell them everything. I tell them all the mem tests I ran. I did all this support diagnostics.
Everything they would have done there.
Everything I was like, made sure everything was seated correctly. And then I said, this is my hypothesis that it's either the motherboard is failing or the CPU is failing. I'm like, but I don't think it's the CPU because that's a little rare. Like CPUs, they're tested extensively. I don't think that it would fail. And so they're like, okay, it sounds good. You can send it in and we'll fix it. I'm like, okay, what's that looking like? They're like, well, we'll need it sent in a crate. I'm like, but you guys sent it to me in a box. Oh, that shouldn't have happened. I don't know why they would send you that in a box. That doesn't make any sense. You should have paid for the crate. If you don't have it, we can sell you a crate. Don't you worry. We got a crate for you. so you can ship this. If you send it in a box.
Like a wooden crate?
A wooden crate. 100%.
No.
I'll take a picture because it's still in my office.
No.
100%.
Like a wooden crate with nails in it.
No, we had to screw it in with a drill. I am not kidding.
Dude.
This is a true story. 100%. I'm not even embellishing a little. In fact, I'm cutting back on some of it for time.
Okay.
And so they're like, we'll send you this crate. I'm like, do it.
For one laptop?
No, it's a desktop. It's a desktop. Yeah, it's a desktop computer. So
all put together.
Well, yeah, the whole case thing. And so they.
All right, no, it's not. It's not as crazy. I'm thinking you're putting a laptop in a wooden crate.
Oh yeah.
I'm
well,
like, what the fuck?
Here's the thing, though.
Okay.
So the crate comes in the mail.
Yeah.
Have to take the drill, take the screws out.
Mm-hmm.
Inside of the crate, cardboard box. Inside of the cardboard box, these giant foam cushions that fit like they're like boxing gloves that just slide onto the computer.
Yeah.
You put that into the or the cardboard box. I'm like, hey, this is how we received them in this same setup with the styrofoam in the box, and they were fine. And so we put it in the crate, whatever, drill it down, send it out to ship, type of thing.
Yeah.
So then some time goes by, a week or two goes by, and I call them and I'm like, hey, I haven't heard anything. They're like, oh yeah, we got it in. It's $247 for shipping, and we never got that paid for, so we need to pay that before we can proceed with the warranty. And I'm like, $247 for shipping? Well, shipping a crate is expensive. And I'm like, you guys wanted me to use the crate. Like, I was fine with putting it in a box.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, I don't know why you had to use a crate. And I'm like, okay, this.
Be like, this is where those recording the conversation for training purposes, you need to bring that shit up right now.
Recall that recording. And so they're like, so finally I'm just like, you know what? We need this computer back, and it's broken. So I paid the $247.
I would have told him to fuck right off,
so
and
this
I'm never buying shit from you bitches again.
This was in February of last year. And then some time goes by, a little bit more, and we get busy. We make do. We swap out the computer with another one, so it's not really an immediate need.
Yeah.
And so backtrack a little bit. When I called them, I said, we work with a lot of IP stuff.
Yeah.
Intellectual property. I'm like, is it a problem if I remove the M.2 drive before sending it back to you? And they're like, absolutely 100% not a problem. I will make a note of that you were going to be removing the M.2 drive.
Yeah.
So that way when it comes in, we can run our diagnostics with the dummy one, remove it, and send it back to you.
Right.
I said, perfect. Thank you for being so understanding. That way we don't have to do any more installs.
This is the same person that told you
same
to
person about
use
the crate.
a crate.
This was the crate guy. So then.
What's this guy's fucking name?
I probably have an email from him.
You definitely need to get his ass.
No, because I'm over it.
Shit canned because he's an idiot.
Yeah. I don't want to get the fire. Oh, so you already see where the story is going.
He didn't fucking make the note.
So about another month goes by from when I called and paid for
scumbag.
shipping. So they told me when I called that they have they can start the diagnostics, but they can't until I pay for the shipping because they already supplied me with the label and everything. So I'm like, okay. Would have been good to know then what you were about to tell me a month later when I called.
Right.
And they're like, oh, well, it doesn't have a hard drive in it. We can't run tests without a hard drive. I think you took out the hard drive. I'm like, I definitely did. Called. They said they would make a note of it. Oh, I'm looking at the original thing. I don't see that in here. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. We can make it work with that. We just didn't know. I'm like, so you were just what? Holding on to when were you going to tell me that this was a problem?
Yeah.
Never said anything. So finally, I'm like, yes, use a dummy hard drive, paid for shipping. Please put it back in the crate that we paid for. We want this crate now. This crate is now a commodity that we are going to use amongst different things. We are now transporting things between locations in this crate.
This is the crate.
We've paid for it.
Yeah.
And so, like another month goes by. So we started this whole process in January.
Jesus.
The end of March. This was last year, by the way. This didn't just happen.
Okay.
So 1 year ago today.
Yeah.
The end of March. I think it was about like the 25th, 26th, somewhere around there. I called them again. I'm like, look, you guys have had our computer for 3 months to run this diagnostics. What can you tell me? And they're like, oh, well, we found out that it was a bad CPU, so we're going to replace it for you and then send it back. I'm like, okay. And they're like, we just needed to get approval from you to do the change. I'm like, wasn't the approval when I sent it in for repairs?
Yeah.
What was I going to say? No, just send me back the broke. And mind you, I didn't have to pay for the repair or the swap out of the part.
Right. So, like, why would you say no?
Right. So I'm like, so how much is it going to cost? 0? It's a little steep.
This is Origin?
Yeah, Origin.
Putting you motherfuckers on blast.
Origin PC.
Dog shit.
And so, anyway, we finally got the computer back. So tell me about
how you went with them because of their warranty?
Exactly. So what I had made a comment to some colleagues of mine was we could have purchased all the parts plus one that we needed for our PC refresh. Yeah. That computer went down. I get it, run diagnostics, figured out it's a faulty CPU, grabbed a CPU, swap it out, up and running that same day.
Yep.
Take that other CPU, RMA it back to
the manufacturer,
our CPU manufacturer, and then get that replacement, put it back in our plus one parts.
Yeah.
Done.
Good to go.
All of that plus one cheaper than what Origin charged us for just the PCs we got.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not too happy with that experience.
So what you did was hired a guy to build PCs, right?
We haven't had another desktop refresh yet.
Gotcha.
But so you're like this part. This did just happen.
Okay.
This year. Actually, it was December 29th, 2017. We ordered 10 laptops for a laptop refresh.
Okay.
So January 15th, still haven't seen anything. No shipping notification. Check the Amex. They definitely took the money. That's cleared.
Yeah.
We paid for that. And so we call them up, and they're like, oh, they're on back order. We should have them by the beginning of February.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, by the beginning of February or the beginning of February? Like, let's say the 10th of February. Like, okay, sounds good.
All right.
So at this point, my expectation is now the 10th of February.
Yeah.
And so I wait and wait and wait. Then the 15th of February comes by. I still haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
And so I called them back again. And I was like, hey, haven't seen anything. Oh, we still haven't received them yet. I'm like, so I start saying, can you provide me with comps? Like, do you have similar laptops with similar specs? I mean, laptops are all the same.
Yeah.
Just change out the brand and it's the same build, you know?
Right.
And they're like, do you want us to do that? I'm like, please, do something.
Yeah.
You know,
Make an effort.
Provide me a service. Just pretend I'm a customer here.
Pretend I paid you money already.
Pretend I paid you $25,000 already. Okay, let's just assume that happened. So guy was very nice.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, yeah, I'll do that for you. I was like, I'm a little busy today. And he's in like Tennessee or whatever. And he's like, I'll do it tomorrow. Thank you. So this was on a Wednesday. Told me tomorrow was going to be Thursday. So Friday morning comes around. And I'm like, I didn't see this email come through.
Yeah.
So I call him again, get him on the phone because I have his extension now.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, Jake, because that was his name. Jake.
From State Farm. What are
Throwing
you
you
wearing?
out there,
Khakis.
Jake. Khakis. Khaki Jake. Nice guy.
Yep.
I'd probably hang out with him, right?
Okay.
He's a good guy.
All right.
But, you know, Jake, your work ethic, it just isn't there.
Yeah.
So I call him. He's like, oh, I wasn't aware you wanted me to do that. And he's like, and we can't really just swap it out. He's like, we'd have to return it and then recharge and all stuff. I'm like, okay, if that gets me a computer. So I'm like, we'll do that. And so he's like, okay, well, let me call our warehouse because I think they're coming in. Like, I think the truck that we're supposed to have these, it's coming in right now.
Yeah.
So let me call you back. This was on Friday. And so it was probably noon or so. And that time, it was still daylight savings. I was like, okay, it's only 2 o'clock there. I'll give him, how long did it, he's like, the warehouse is literally connected to our office.
Yeah.
I'll call you right back. So I'm like, okay, Jake. I trust you, Jake.
Yeah.
You're a good
Fucking
guy.
Jake.
You're a good guy. And so then I wait and wait. And then it gets to be about 2. I'm like, well, it's 4 o'clock. That's pushing their end of day. Let me call him back. See what progress he made.
Yeah.
Call him, and I get our business hours are blah, 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 blah. Please call us back on Monday. I'm like,
Fuckers.
Jake, you done did me dirty, Jake.
Moral of the story is...
Oh, we're going to end it there, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a long fucking drawn-out story.
We'll end it there. But just real quick, we finally got the laptops about 2 weeks ago.
And then you found $5.
And then I found $5.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Great story.
Yeah.
Don't ever tell it again.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, there's vendors out there.
Yeah. You got to find the right people to
Who
go with
suck.
to buy shit from.
Yeah.
And just brand loyalty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but I feel like that's part of the problem. Like their slogan is like, we strive for customer service. It's like, do you though?
Yeah.
Kind of feel like
I'm pretty
you
sure
don't.
Comcast tries to make that same claim too, but
Yeah.
we all know how Comcast is.
Yeah. So it's like if you buy one computer, maybe like $1,500, they'll get you.
Yeah.
But if you spend, I don't know, $25,000,
Right.
and it's like you're not worth it to them.
Yeah,
You know,
that's crazy.
It's not enough money for them.
Crazy.
I don't know. So I'm not happy with PC vendors and the
So
stuff that
if you do a PC refresh and you want to just build computers, I'll come up and help you.
Yeah, I think that's where we'll go next time, because we can just buy all the pieces and then
Yeah.
assembly line it.
Moral of the story is learn how to fucking build a PC.
Build your computer. Don't be like Jake.
Don't be like Jake. Don't
Don't-
be a scumbag.
Yeah.
Don't be a helpless, IT illiterate human being.
Right.
Learn how to build a fucking computer.
Do it for yourself and
'Cause
for others.
You're going to get left in the past
Save a child.
very soon.
Build a computer.
Ready Player One comes out tomorrow.
I know. Well, this is not having like a tonight premiere.
I'm sorry. It was either last night or tonight. I don't know.
No.
It wouldn't have been last night. It would be tonight.
No, not like the movie premiere, but like I know like when we go see a movie at midnight, we go at 7 p.m. on Thursday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how our theaters are here. Is that not? Is that
I don't
not
do
normal?
that shit. I'm not like.
Are we?
I'm not
narking?
like standing in fucking line waiting to fucking go into a movie theater with 1,000 other people to be
You
the
stand
first
in line?
person to fucking see
Okay,
it.
so
and shit.
let me tell you.
You know what
about
I do?
This theater.
Let me tell you about how I go to the theater. I buy tickets for like noon on a Wednesday at the recliner theater with a full bar, and fucking that's how I roll.
What about your work schedule? Don't you have to be at the office?
No.
Oh
No.
no.
The office is the movie theater for that day.
I
Just
see.
just at the office.
Yeah.
Another day at the office.
Another day at the office.
Yeah. So next week I'm gonna go see it on Friday at like the first showing of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we do is we buy our tickets in advance at the recliner theater where you reserve your seats.
Yeah.
And then we'll show up like.
You gotta fight
On
for
time.
those though.
No, we don't have to fight.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta fight for everything in Tucson.
Well, it's the
If-
dirty tea.
If
I mean,
something's
it goes without saying you got to fight for everything there.
if something's going on down there, like everyone and their brothers fighting to get into it.
Keep in mind too, we have like 5 that I know of.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Like in a close proximity.
Yeah.
So it's not. They're not in.
There's a fuckload more
Shortage.
people here though.
That's fair.
Way more people.
More
So,
civilized people though.
no.
Let's
No.
establish that.
No.
Like,
you
the-
guys up here are savages.
Phoenicians are a little bit better than Texonians.
I don't think so.
I think that's fact. I think that's scientific.
No, you got the more
They-
of a
they
more of a
researched that.
hometown feel to the
I think that was
Tucson.
research at U of A, and they were like, "Yeah, we concede." Except in sports, like I think they're like,
We're not getting into this. You shut me down
Better
last
sports.
last podcast. With
"No,
this,
I don't know
with
anything.
This Phoenix Tucson rivalry.
I don't know
bullshit.
anything about
All
it.
You lock it up.
I'll just jump in when I can, poke the bear,
Yeah, no.
push
no.
those buttons."
There's just too many people here, man. It's
Yeah.
fucking an insane amount of people.
It's quite a bit.
Took me 40 minutes to drive around the 202 today. That's a long fucking way. To
Which way
avoid
did
wrecks.
you come in though?
Well, I went up to 10 because I had to make a pit stop.
That's right.
And then I
And on
went
your way
to
back.
Tempe. And then to get from Tempe to here, the way I wanted to go was going to take an hour and 15 minutes
Well,
to go
couldn't just-
25 miles.
But the nice thing is that we have over Tucson is we have different freeways. So you
That
can-
was on the freeway.
I know, but what
All
I'm saying
freeways.
is, what freeway were you on?
I was on
The
The-
North 202?
I was on the 10 and got on the North 202 going east
right.
to the South 202.
So what you could have done, you had options there.
No,
You
because
could've-
there's wrecks.
You could have
Google told me
continued-
so.
You could have continued on the 10 down to the 60. You could have continued on
That
the
was
10
where
down
all
to
the
South
shit was
202.
going on.
Okay, more options. You get on the 202, you get on the 101 South,
I already know all this. It was all congested and wrecks everywhere.
wrecks everywhere.
Yeah, it asked
Really?
me.
Like an
Google goes,
apocalyptic, like,
"Excuse me,
scene
sir.
from a
You
movie."
could save 6 minutes on
Google
your travel
doesn't know.
time if you avoided going on the 101 South."
Google doesn't know.
And I said,
Google
sure.
has no
They're like,
idea.
"Would you like to change route or hit no thanks to keep on route?" And I said, "Yes, please. Save 6 minutes." Not that it did me any good because I sat on that fucking front doorstep for 6 minutes waiting on fucking J-Rail over
Yeah.
here, Superman's dad. And I was like charging my phone. He was like, "Oh, are you charging your phone?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "I didn't even know I had an outlet out
Oh,
there."
you
And
plugged
he
in
was
your
like-
phone to his outlet?
He's like, "I wonder how many homeless people come by and use my fucking outlet." And I was
I
like,
don't think that's a problem. It's a gated community. Like, I don't.
"Dude, where there's a will, there's a way for homeless."
Yeah.
All right. When you don't got a home, everywhere's your home.
So, speaking of homeless people, if we can get real for a second.
Okay.
I heard something that made me super depressed. And I think it's nice because I've been realizing that I
Dude, you shouldn't hear things that
have a
make you
lot
super
of
depressed.
empathy for people.
But okay, continue.
So, it's the homeless population in Phoenix,
It's massive
massive.
because it's warm here.
But more than 60%, or I think it's like 60% of the homeless population in Phoenix
Mm-hmm.
are from foster care. They are kids that were never picked up in the foster care system.
Dude,
Doesn't that, I mean, that made
Makes
me
sense.
feel something though.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
Yeah.
that's sad.
it is.
And it stimulated an
It
emotional
is.
response
It is.
that was like, wow.
And what annoys me to no end is pro-lifers that are like, yeah, don't abort that child.
Give that child a chance.
Give it a chance to live in the adoption system.
Maybe one day he'll be at Camelback in the 17 begging for money.
Yeah,
you know,
pretty
that
much.
That could be his dream.
Guess what, motherfuckers?
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a reason to abort.
If a parent feels like it's not going to work out.
If they can't raise a child properly.
Physically, financially, whatever the case may be, I would strongly suggest that you reach out to someone that you might know that's looking to take that child.
Yeah.
And if you can't, and that's your only option, I am not going to tell you what to do with your body. Because while it's sad to think about that from the baby standpoint, it's even sadder to think about that baby never having a good opportunity.
Or knowing that you're going to run into them and they're going to be homeless, panhandling. Like, oh.
Hey,
would you rather have died before you were born? Or
I think that
live
question
this
is
life,
hard because
this life of misery.
I think all of them would probably say that they want to live this life because, again, that goes back to what we were discussing about before, is that they have an experience to compare it to. Right. You can't say, do you want to experience nothing or something? It's like, well, I've already experienced something, so I can't fathom what it'd be like to experience nothing.
Right.
And so it's kind of a biased approach to that. It's one of those hard things that you can't really...
Well, I can honestly say that I think that they should have never lived.
Yeah.
Than to have to
from an outside perspective,
to have to live a life like that
without getting to know the individual and having any sort of connection, and just on a statistical point of view.
Right, without knowing anybody and not making an emotional attachment.
Because once you have that, then you never.
Then it's all it's all out the window.
But I think that's one of the things that population.
Is that
control,
what these people do though? Is they make an emotional attachment to an unborn child before it's ever born that they don't even know and will never even interact with? Is that why they get so gung ho about it?
I don't know. I think that we talked a lot about too in these classes about confidentiality, and I'm very used to NDAs and IP and stuff.
Yeah.
And what you can and cannot disclose.
Same with me with HIPAA.
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah, it's very similar to that, but I think
Privacy Act.
Yeah, I think some of the stuff is that maybe they have good intentions, or maybe they're just they don't care enough to one way or another. Maybe they're so fixated on themselves and partying and drugs that they're just
oh, you're talking about the people having the kids?
Yeah, having the
kids. I'm
kids.
talking about the people that get upset about people having abortions.
Oh, that? No,
I
that's
don't
just
understand.
pushing their religious agenda. They don't care about
where
people.
does that come from? Is that an emotional attachment that they
Oh, they don't have emotional attachment.
I don't know what that is. I don't understand the irrational need to save a life that you're never going to interact with.
I think what it is it's more of a...
You know what I mean?
They relate it to themselves. If they have children, they'd be like, I would never want to do that to that child.
Right.
So don't do it to your child.
Right.
Just go get a job. You stop doing drugs. Stop heroin. You don't need heroin anymore. Just don't do that.
Yeah.
So they approach it from that angle.
But if you shoved a needle in their arm and gave them a fucking shot, got them addicted to heroin, they'd never fucking say that shit again.
They'd be like, give me heroin. I'll give you my child for heroin.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, people go
sell
crazy.
You my kid for heroin.
People are crazy, on drugs.
Yeah.
And I think people kind of say, well, I was never addicted to heroin, so you shouldn't be addicted to heroin. Right? That's how
But then my question would be, have you ever tried heroin to that person? And they'd be like, no. And I'd be like, well, guess what? You don't have a fucking say in this matter. Go try heroin.
Right.
And then you can fucking be the judge of how easy it is to kick heroin.
At the other end then, it's if you don't like people going to these abortion clinics, then you go there and you say, hey, we'll take your child.
Yeah, that's what that was the point I was trying to make. Right. Is these people
do something about
they don't do
now,
anything about it.
To be fair, I don't want to paint this broad spectrum that all of these pro-lifers don't do anything. There are definitely a lot of people who open their homes and to take in some of these children.
Yes,
but
not enough.
But there's not enough people.
But a lot of if everyone that made that argument did it, we wouldn't have an issue.
We
wouldn't have an issue.
Yep. But that's the problem, is that there are sincere people who think that you can provide an opportunity for these children that otherwise wouldn't get it. But there's not enough people to do that, and then there are children, and so you end up with these.
But these same people that are making this argument, oh, every life matters and everything, right? So don't get an abortion. So this kid can go into the system and hopefully get adopted. That's their argument, right? But they're also the same people that don't want to pay for the social programs that go to raising these kids.
Yeah.
They're opposed to these social programs. They're like, well, that's more government. Well, guess what? The government's got to take care of the people no one else is fucking taking care of.
Should
That's
we just bring these children to your house?
Or should we go line them up in front of your house and shoot them all in the head and dig a ditch in your front yard and bury them there? Like, I don't know.
That far. But what I'm saying is, like, if you don't want the government to do it, do you want to do it?
Yeah, they don't want to do it.
Like, so then shut up.
Yeah, pretty much. That's my argument is shut the fuck up. Like, I'm tired of listening. Like, because that's one of the things is, like, right now, the FBs posts galore about gun control and gun rights. And the argument is, like, gun statistics. And one of the things I see these right-wingers fucking throw out is, like...
It's a mental health issue?
No, they throw out, like, well, fucking drunk driving kills way more people than guns and fucking cigarettes and this and that and this and that and this and that. And, like, all these other things that kill people that aren't guns, right? And then sometimes, I can't remember, like, some people that aren't conservatives that make the same argument maybe from, like, a libertarian standpoint, they leave out the whole abortion statistic because that, like, brings out a whole nother argument. But then these conservative fuckers get in there and they're like, well, what I don't see is the abortion statistics on there and how atrocious that act is and blah, blah, like, where's all those statistics and blah, blah, blah. And they, like, turn the conversation from gun control and, like, try and tack on abortion and pro-life shit. And I'm just like, one thing at a time, motherfuckers. One thing at a time.
And one thing at a time, for sure. And on this same thing is that it's not just conservatives who do that.
No. On
the other end, they're very good at doing that as well.
Right.
One thing I was going to say, another hypocrisy that happens in that same topic is they'll say, this is not a gun issue. This is a mental health issue.
Yeah.
Why wasn't this guy getting the help he needed? Sir, maybe because you just repealed all of his health care? Like, you know, maybe because you don't want to do the healthcare thing. Oh, yeah, that's right. Car accidents. Are we going to hold Ford accountable?
Right. I tried to bring up universal healthcare with somebody the other day, like, just to, like, spitball the idea, and they just didn't want to have any. They were like, nope, can't even have a conversation about it. And I'm just like, wow, your ignorance is couldn't shine brighter if it was the sun.
And
like,
that's not ignorance, that's arrogance.
It was just like, I don't even want to talk about that. Like, that's not even an option. And it's just like,
we work with.
How is it not an option?
Conversation should always be the first option.
I was going to lay out a really good strategy, which I'll do now.
100-point plan.
100-point plan. It's actually like a 10-point plan.
10-point plan.
And I'm not even going to make 10 points.
Scalable.
I'm tired of paying Social Security. If I'm not going to get it, why should I fucking have to pay for it?
You only have to pay Social Security on the first $127,000
you know what else I don't want to fucking do is pay Medicaid either. Why should I have to pay for somebody else's fucking Medicaid?
Because the intent is going to be when you're that age, someone else is paying for yours.
No, fuck that. Instead, take those two things, turn them into universal health care, and take it out of my pay. You're taking it out of my paycheck anyways.
Right.
Turn it into a healthcare program.
But what about
use that money? Like, people ride out those programs until they run out of funding. The problem is no one wants to know that those fucking programs don't have the money that we all pay into it. It gets used for something else that's not part of that.
Been accepted into the general budget.
So we can't fucking do that because there's actually no money there.
Right.
It's all somewhere else.
Yeah.
And when you're fucking trillions in debt to God knows who, like, I make this fucking argument. Like, I don't understand how a country can be in debt to who? We borrowed money from who? China? China, you going to come get that money back? No?
They might.
Oh, you want to? Oh, we'll just stop buying shit from you, China, and we'll destroy you economically.
Our economic that we buy all
mutually insured destruction if you do that shit. Like, so why can't we just be like, yo, China, if you're good, we're good.
Yeah.
Hey, rest of the world, if you're good, we're good. Like, we know you owe us just as much as we might owe you. So if you want to just settle this debt and call it even,
call it good.
No one knows anybody.
But they need, so it's more of like a barometer.
I don't understand how
it's
it
like
works,
to figure out where you are, like a compass, you know? Okay. Like, if we just remove the debt and said we don't have any debt, then where do we kind of have like our zero line?
Where's square one?
We need a basis. So the debt might be like $19 trillion, but what does that mean in reality? I mean, it's not like you're going to have like the debt collectors being like, hey, U.S., we want to get you on a monthly payment plan. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's going to happen, but it's just showing you that where we are and what we're producing and what we're spending, we're not meeting our monthly nut.
So we're like,
and we're spending
in the
more
negative, like as a country, as far as like resources required to like support everybody that's in it.
Well, so it's like a P&L statement, right? So you have your profit, you have your loss, so it's all of your revenue and it's all of your expenses.
Right.
In a business standpoint, you always want your revenue to be greater than your expenses.
Yeah, you just want every day to be Black Friday. Because you want to be in the black.
In the black.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was like, Friday deals? No. But so as a country, though, if you were to take the country's P&L, it would be like our monthly revenue is like nowhere near our monthly expenses.
Right.
And so when we do this for time, those expenses are going deeper and deeper and deeper of that revenue,
right,
which is causing this $19 trillion in debt. So it's more of just like saying we cannot, with our current budgets and all this stuff, we got to stop spending so we can kind of get back to it. Because right now, it's the same thing you're like talking about. We're paying into Social Security. They're taking that money and to pay off over here where they already spent money and stuff.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul.
100%. That's
right.
The best way to say it. And what's happening is that now we're going to have to give Peter his money back. So the hope is that as like my kid grows up, and she starts paying into Social Security, that'll go to people like me and you type of thing.
Correct.
You know, and it's
not going to though.
It's not. And you know,
the buck stops at us.
But I think part of the problem too is that there's a lot of people who are dependent on Social Security now.
Yeah.
Because
guess what?
And this
not
is
my fucking problem.
It isn't.
It's not my problem.
But here's the thing: is that if you make that decision to stop, so if you say we're going to cut Social Security, it's going to, because I agree with what you're saying. I think that if you switch to a universal healthcare system, like we pay a lot of money for our healthcare. So if we didn't have to pay that and we could put that into a retirement thing, that's better than Social Security in our end.
Yeah.
And everyone has that freedom now to do that.
Your retirement is a personal responsibility,
right,
not the responsibility of the generation that follows you.
Exactly. And I think when it first was implemented, it was supposed to be like you put it into an account, and then when you get older, you can withdraw from that account.
Right.
And then when they're like, well, look, we have all this money in all these accounts, and these guys are still working.
Yeah.
Let's just take that money to pay for some of this stuff.
Exactly what happened.
And now they're so far upside down, they're just like, we don't know.
So get rid of it and we'll just forgive all that. And,
but the problem is that
it's your personal responsibility to set up
all
your
the Social Security that you've paid in so far would be gone.
That's fine. I'm cool with that.
And I
know
you are. I would be okay with that too. Believe me, my retirement plan does not have Social Security in it.
No,
you know what I mean?
No, not at all.
So I'm a couple people are, but there are definitely people that are really, really dependent on that.
I'm not even saying let me keep it. Well, we can find another program to compensate for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or we can figure out another way to take care of the people that would get left out on the street because they don't have Social Security anymore.
Yeah.
We'll find a way.
Yeah.
But having everybody pay into these fucking money pits.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you almost have to keep Social Security as what it is, but just say, okay, everyone.
It has an end date.
If you were born in 1980 and on, you're out of the program.
Yeah.
You're now going to be paying into this universal health care,
right?
Which you're going to get. It's also going to cover the legacy folks, that are still in that
grandfathered in people.
We're also going to do this temporary tax with say a 15 years on it, where it's going to be 1.7 or whatever percentage that's going to fund the legacy people's Social Security. Now the benefit is we're not going to have new people coming in. So as people start, exiting their program of Social Security in whatever way, that will pull more funds to pay off these other people quicker, and we can drop that tax back down.
Yep.
That's a rational, logical solution.
Imagine that.
The United States government does not introduce rational and logical
We have the
bills.
wrong fucking people running this country.
Right.
And you know what? Like, I'm going to be honest with you. If the things keep going the way that they are going now.
Moving to Canada here.
No. Like, much worse than that. Like, Canada won't even be a safe place. Like, if we keep going down the road of where we're having fucking kids walk out of schools and stand on the road holding up signs for gun control because their teacher told them to, and they're cool with it because they get out of school and they don't have to learn.
Yeah.
Like, when we start using kids for propaganda and shit like that, no, dude. Like, you're going down a fucking slippery slope.
And that argument is a very slippery slope argument, too, because I can understand it from the perspective.
I get it both ways. Don't get me wrong.
I saw this one thing the other day that was like people that die per year from guns or whatever. It was like a couple thousand. It was not zero, greater than zero, less than 10,000, let's say.
Correct.
And then it's like people that die each year from like opiate overdoses, like greater than 200,000.
200,000.
It's like, so why don't we go after the pharmaceutical companies? It's like, because
same thing.
You won't let us. Like, don't you understand that if we did change our march, like to say march for our lives, but we're attacking instead of the NRA, we're going to attack the pharmaceutical companies.
Right.
How many people are paid? How many politicians are paid for pharmaceutical companies? That's the same thing. Oh, so you're saying people shouldn't have their medication? Well, if they,
yeah,
it's the same thing. It's the distraction, the diversion. It's like, look over here and we'll hit you in the face over here. Like, there's no real.
That's what I mean. It's pointless to have kids do that, though. If that's the mentality towards it, like, you're just, yeah.
Well, like, but again, I think
it doesn't make any sense.
Pointless for some people looking at it saying, like, guys, this is how the system works. It's not pointless for the people who are diehard, the extremists on both sides. You have extremist left, extremist right.
Right.
And they're the ones that are like, oh, look at these kids. They did such a good job. Like, so proud of them. They are going to make a difference. Let's give them hope because we need recruits.
Yeah.
So let's build them up and say what you did with that march was awesome. You need to join our team, our narrative. Let's do this. On the other side, you have just disgusting people who are like, oh, these kids, like, blah, blah, blah. Like,
yeah, that's not how I'm looking at it
like,
at all.
Maybe their parents should have had an abortion. And, like, what? They make comments like that. You're just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, this isn't going to do anything. But at the same time, you have these kids that they don't have real world experiences. They don't have like a good understanding of how the world, they don't even have a good understanding of how their state works, let alone the country or the world.
So they definitely shouldn't be standing out on the side of the road.
But my point is that
representing something that they don't know anything
this
about.
Stuff in the media and they don't know how to digest it and they think that could be me.
Right.
It is a legitimate fear for them.
Dude, I understand. But at the same time, we have to realize that kids don't understand, period.
I think we do.
Or even if they do,
I think we
don't have to give them... They don't need to be concerned with that kind of shit. Like, kids shouldn't be concerned with gun control.
But I think that's the problem, is that kids shouldn't be concerned with it. But kids are dying from it. I mean, there was just that other one in Maryland, where a 17-year-old went in with the handgun. They're like, oh, we need to figure out how he got this handgun. And someone was like, probably a trade show loophole. And I'm like, guys, that's not like a real thing. Like, you hear these buzzwords and these headlines and you think you know what it is.
Perpetuating the fucking
and it's
bullshit.
Just because honestly, I think you said it, right? Like,
what's that?
It's a statistic. Like, far less people die from, like, kids are safer at school than they are like in a car.
In a fucking car,
or
probably.
On a plane, you know what I mean? Like,
well, I don't know about a plane.
Well, because I mean,
planes are pretty safe.
Yeah, I think it was like last I heard, it was like 1 in 40 million chance to have a.
Yeah, never felt like I was gonna die in a fiery plane crash.
I feel that a lot every time I fly. Like
I fall asleep, man.
My problem is I always see that scene in Final Destination. And I'm just like sitting in the seat, and I'll always check the thing.
It's
like,
not as bad.
Is it broken?
It's not as bad as the other scene from Final Destination where they're driving behind that fucking logging truck, and all the shit falls off the back.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
I think they're both bad ways to go.
No. The fucking logging truck thing is way more likely to happen.
The worst one in that movie, and I can't remember which was the first, second, or third, is they're in that hardware store and that nail gun gets stuck to the girl's head, so it pushes in, and then that thing hits the trigger and it's just like nails in the skull. I'm like, no, I don't want that. Oh, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
By the way.
Like a 20-year-old
Don't want to. There's going to be one person that's like, dang it.
God damn it. That was on my list.
Just going to watch that. I got it in the mail from Netflix. I was going to watch it tonight in my DVD player.
You know, my wife goes, I borrowed movies from my boss. So she borrowed Book of Life and Coco. Really good movies. I liked them a lot.
Yeah.
Very cultural.
The Book of Life.
It's the Hispanic. They're like both like based off of Hispanic culture.
I don't think I've seen The Book of Life. I've seen Coco.
The Book of Life is pretty good. It's really good, actually.
I'm trying to think of what it's about.
Coco's really good, too. The Book of Life is about, I don't know, like Dia de los Muertos. And
okay. I've never
these
heard
two
of it.
gods I think they're gods, and they like make a deal, and like there's like two guys, and they're competing to like win the love of this one girl, you know, and it's interesting. I don't really know the plot.
There's one that
too much.
I'm confusing it with.
Point is, on Blu-ray, and my wife goes, "Do we have a Blu-ray player?" And I said, "I got you, fam. PlayStation 4 Pro." She was like, "Oh, that's a Blu-ray?" I'm like, "It's both."
Yeah.
She was like, "Wow." She saw it, boom, explosion in her mind.
Yeah, but you can't do HD Blu-rays in that, like you can in the Xbox One S.
No one gives a fuck.
I don't either. I'm just trying like this. I gotta get good at this plugs.
Yeah.
So like we can take it to people.
So we
like,
can get like
insert your product here.
Right.
Like we could do that. Look how seamless that was.
But never
talking
buy
about watching movies.
Xbox One X.
Why? What's wrong with an X?
It's just not worth it.
It's not.
No.
Yeah, don't do it.
What's the upgrade?
Don't do it, Jarrell.
Is there much of an upgrade besides the 4K gaming experience?
I don't know what you're talking about. I have one.
Did you say S or X before?
I said S.
S, right?
S, yeah. I have an X. I mean, I don't, unless you're mad at it.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it. I just don't think it's worth spending
He's
the
mad
money.
at
Like
it.
if you have an Xbox One or a
Yeah,
One
I know.
S,
So here's my problem.
there's just not much of an upgrade. Wait till the next generation.
I wanted a 4K TV. So I got a 4K TV.
Not everybody has a
for my
4K
birthday.
TV.
And then I was like, but there's nothing in 4K. So then I was like, the Xbox One S came out like that same time. I'm like, well, we could do this and get Netflix in 4K,
Ooh.
but not really there
Limited
yet.
viewing.
And then when
library.
the X came out, it's like, now you can game in 4K. I was like, okay, we'll do that.
Is it that much more amazing though? Have you seen it? Like the difference? Have you played a 4K capable Xbox game?
No, I have not, Tyler.
So then,
Not played any games on it since we got it.
why do you own one?
Yeah, I knew that. Good follow-up question.
I just like wasting money.
It's one of those things where you get so caught up in the moment.
Listen.
You get
This
get
is
on
called-
you get on the hype train, Tyler.
Oh, dude, I'm a hype beast.
You get on
I'm
the
a hype
hype
beast.
train.
Did you know that? I'm a hype beast. I
You
get
start
called this
you
all the
start
time.
drinking. You start having Jello shots. You're having fun. You're on the hype train, and then you
Well, I'm the
wake
hype
up.
beast on the hype
Then
train.
you wake up. Your wallet's empty. You're a little hungover. You feel insecure. And you probably feel a little violated.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn, hype train got me again.
A little blood in your stool.
But you'd be proud of me. Well, that's just a daily occurrence at this point. I have decided I am no longer going to get on the hype train.
You fell victim to the hype train.
I'm putting myself in rehab. I'm in the, what is it?
So just going to take it easy and
the
and
11
coast with your
11-step
1X
process. I'm
right
on step
now?
5 right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've made my bad mistake. But it's like, here was my logic behind it.
No, you didn't make a mistake. You were just being you.
Here's my justification.
It's white privilege, dude.
It's white. Wow.
It's white privilege.
Whoa.
Us as fucking middle-aged white guys.
Whoa.
Listen. Let's bring this full
Middle-aged.
circle.
Did you say middle-aged?
Isn't 30 middle-aged now?
If you die at 60.
I mean, I don't plan on living to 80.
Well, then my middle age was 18.
Yep. Right? So, like, as white dudes in America,
Yeah.
we're afforded the luxury via privilege.
It's true.
To blow money on the
I-
next Xbox upgrade whenever we want.
I did not get pulled over on my way to purchasing the Xbox One X.
Dude, it's not even... If you
I-
just step out your front door...
I saw a cop in
Apparently,
the parking lot, and he
you live
did
in
not
fear.
shoot me. So I take for granted.
It's white privilege, man.
That's messed up. No, but what it was, my justification was like, I've been burned by too many games on the hype train. Like I was like, the hype train on the Railroad 8,
Yeah.
the game one, that burns me a lot. I'm not going to do that one anymore. I'm like, oh, the console, I'll do that. 4K, I can game in 4K. Yeah, I'm all excited.
But you don't have any games.
Then I got
To
burned
play it.
again. Yeah,
Because
well,
you're not falling victim to the
know.
game hype train. Listen,
It's a cyclical environment.
people have called me, without using the term, a hype beast. Do you know what a hype beast is?
100% you are. I don't even need to know, but I agree with whoever.
A hype
made these.
beast is somebody that
How many times
hypes
do I
up
talk to you
everything.
and you're like, best game ever, dude. No. There's people that cry, but I guarantee you in a week, I'll be like, hey, you still play Sea of Thieves? Nah, that game sucks. It was overrated. Like, didn't have content.
My problem is no one games at the level that I game at.
Yeah.
That's just, everybody's a filthy casual is basically what it boils down to.
Yeah.
And so what it takes me a week to do, it takes them like 6 months to do. I can't help that.
And the content is designed to last them 6 months. So when you do it
Correct.
in a week and you're just like, game sucks.
No, that was a great game. I'm moving on to the next one.
You're already
and then
it was 2 days ago. You were like,
people,
Sea of Thieves, man.
People were like, blah,
Gotta
blah,
get it.
man, fucking you hype everything up, and I bought this game because you recommended it, but then it didn't like meet my expectations, and blah, you're hype beast and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, I enjoy everything I play.
Yeah.
Because when you play everything...
Well, that's definitely one thing,
enjoyable.
too, that I think is a problem is that it goes hand in hand. So there's a lot of hype for a game. Yeah. But then the expectations of people is also just ridiculous.
Yes. They're fucking insanely ridiculous.
I think Nick Swartzen, he does a bit where he's like, people are so, like, negative towards movies. They're like, what's that? So jaded towards movies. Like, hey, did you see the new Transformers movie? And like, yeah, I saw it. Sucks. It's like, what are you talking? The CGI and all this? Yeah, it sucks. Dude. And I feel like people are that way with games. It's like, do you understand that we were once happy with games where a ball was coming at a line and you had to move that line
on a fucking oscilloscope
to stop the ball
on an oscilloscope
from hitting, and it'd go back the other way.
Yeah.
And the guy you were playing with, he had to maneuver to stop the ball there. I mean, that was once like that was gaming.
People didn't understand. They don't even understand the struggle of having to play an MMORPG on dial-up.
Oh yeah.
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 You just don't do it. Patch
well,
day.
People
R.I.P.
People don't know the struggle of trying to play Guild Wars 1 original 24 hours a day.
I think that sentence could be stopped with like, people don't know dial-up. Like,
yeah, they don't. So like, the lack of appreciation.
So I don't know if I have it.
What's funny is people will ask me, hey, I saw you playing Far Cry 5. How is it? Like, you don't want my opinion of the game. I'm not going to tell
you because you're going to call me a hype beast.
Yeah, you don't want my opinion of the game. It's fucking amazing. It's great. I fucking love it. If you love America, you will love fucking Far Cry 5.
Yeah, I don't have it. But
if you don't know how to be fun yourself and create, like, if you're not a creative person, don't buy Sea of Thieves because you'll be bored to death.
Well, I kind of feel like that's how it is with any game. Like any game, you kind of have to engulf yourself in the world to enjoy it.
For sure. But
because if you don't, then all you're doing is looking at a bunch of different colors on a screen that are moving, and you're just like, this sucks.
So people want like Far Cry 5.
People want Candy Crush.
They do want Candy Crush.
Like they want that type. Like they feel like they're having an experience.
Far Cry 5 is an experience, whether you play casually or not. It's a fucking experience.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy. Sea of Thieves, on the other hand, can be even more crazy of an experience than Far Cry, with its ludicrous storyline and missions and characters that say crazy ass shit.
Right.
But Sea of Thieves has none of that. It has like fucking less than 1% of the content that Far Cry 5 has. But if I'm being honest, Sea of Thieves is going to last longer than Far Cry 5.
It's replayability.
Yeah, and just because it's a sandbox like game where the possibilities are endless because it's just an open box world.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. It's like
no one's telling you anything to do. You just get on a boat and fucking sail around and like
do it.
Oh, I want to kill that guy over there. Go kill that guy over there. Oh, I want to go dig up treasure. Okay, go dig up treasure.
I saw something...
like, make your own fun, but the game's only as fun as how creative you as an individual can be.
Yeah.
And motherfuckers aren't creative, and they're not fun.
I saw this thing, though, that they implemented some sort of death penalty thing, or they revoked it. I can't remember.
So there was like a gold death penalty, or they were going to put it in.
Oh, they were going to implement it.
And it's only for PvE deaths.
So it's like a repair bill and like
correct, yeah. Like don't die to easy content, noob.
Yeah,
basically.
Don't suck,
or else you owe us money.
Yeah.
But people were under the impression that you were gonna have to pay death penalties for PvP kills.
I see.
And they were like, no, that wasn't ever the thing.
But they already revoked it, so.
They did?
Yeah. Well, that was the thing I read. I think it was like a thing on Twitter.
What they should do is pay out like a death penalty to people when you die in PvP. So killing people is worth it.
Gives you a reward or something.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you get to take their stuff.
Nah, they don't really have stuff to take.
Yeah, these noobs.
Lots of people are slackers, man. Me and my buddy were sailing around our galleon, tricked out with like 20 chests in it and like 10 skulls that you can turn in. Like we got like 30 grand worth of gold in our ship. We're the people you want to kill. He goes, you know, no one else is worth killing but us. And I'm like, I know, because
so you guys turn on each other.
Because what these people do is they go and they get like one chest.
Because you could kill him.
They
right?
have like one,
and you could take it off.
They
for
have
yourself.
one chest.
I mean, this is a great revenge, like betrayal.
If we're in a party though and we turn it in, like we both get that same amount of money.
Oh, I see.
So it doesn't really
benefit
us.
But how awesome!
Unless I want to be a dick.
That's what I'm saying. You're like the only one that's killing is us, and you just turn him like you're right.
But the point is like these people, so they do like shitty things like get one chest and run back and turn it in, and go out and get one chest or one skull, or they might have like 3. Not worth my time to kill you for 3 skulls when I have 20
but you're
in
gonna
my,
do it
in my
anyway
ship.
out of spite.
I do. Yeah. I kill them because it's just I want to kill you.
Yeah.
I want to see your ship sink to the bottom of the ocean and then jump down in there with a blunderbuss and make you face me while a shark sneaks up and eats you from behind. Sneaky shit.
It's addictive.
It is. But
well, at least you're taking it out there, because if you didn't, you'd be taking it out on people.
No, probably not.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
People say video games cause violence.
I know. I was telling my dad earlier.
I don't see it.
I was like, if anybody is likely to commit a crime and go on a mass killing spree, it'd be me, based off of my video game exposure. If that was a real thing, and it's definitely not.
Yeah, it's not a thing at all.
Living proof that that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Raised by video games.
Right.
Never wanted to kill a person.
I know. I remember playing
Would
Mario.
kill a person.
I never wanted to jump on people to see if they would disappear.
Yeah.
I never once saw a turtle in real life and be like, if I jump on you, I can kick your shell and it's just going to fly indefinitely.
Right. Oh, and
people are just dumb.
They are dumb.
You need an enemy. To push a narrative, you have to have a target.
I know.
You can't be like, guys, can we just like work together to better the human race? It's like, well, what are we fighting against? We're not fighting against anything.
Cooperation.
We're wanting to work together.
It's a co-op, not a...
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
they're fucking... Whatever, man.
People love drama.
The human race, man.
Yep.
We're doomed.
People, human race.
Anyways, what I was getting at earlier was, shit keeps going down this fucking road. I won't be surprised if some Far Cry 5 type shit happens and we get some like militia.
So is this spoilers from Far Cry 5 is what you're doing right now?
No.
Okay.
This is like real life spoilers.
Well, don't ruin it. I want to be surprised.
People keep wanting to fucking take people's guns, and it just...
I don't think that'll ever happen.
If it ever does, though...
I think but here's the thing.
It's not going to be a good time.
I think the argument, like the conversation, will always be a thing.
Yeah,
because I think what's going to happen is even people, like even Democrats, even liberal, like hardcore liberals, they know, like, this is never going to happen. But let's just make it like this big thing. Like, oh, it should happen. It could happen easily. But they're going home at night and they're sleeping. And they're like, yeah, that's never going to happen. Because they, on some level...
They got nothing better to do? Is that what it is?
It's kind of like you keep the argument alive and it like makes the world and everyone be like, yeah, see, they're trying, but those damn conservatives won't let them do it. That's why it's not safe. Like, I read this...
Such a waste of time.
Oh, but people have nothing but time. I heard someone earlier today, like an hour and a half ago, say, I've got all the time in the world.
I have all the time in the world, but I value my time.
But just imagine if you put that towards such a pointless task. Like,
listen,
what
I'm
you
here
could
talking
accomplish.
about this shit. I'm at least doing something in that regard.
Yeah.
You know?
But so
having
are they.
Discussions.
They're walking on
They just can't
Washington.
have the same fucking kind of talk.
I just feel... so what I was going to say is I read this thing that someone was like... there was this man who didn't have access to guns, and so he went to do an attack, and he had a knife, and he didn't hurt anyone because they stopped him. It's like, good job, gun control. I'm like, but the scenario you just described is so different than America because we already have millions of guns out there.
Yeah.
So even if it was illegal, he could still get access to guns.
Yeah.
Like, it works when you're starting up something new, and you're like, let's just not give them guns. And then no one has guns, and your laws work.
That's what I was getting at, is try and go and take those guns from those people. You can't undo it. It's not ever going to happen. You cannot
undo it.
That will be really bad.
The only way it will ever happen is if everyone wakes up one day, and I mean everyone, military, other countries, everyone is like, let's get rid of guns, like on their own. And then they're just like, we don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
Which will never happen.
No.
So it's never going to happen.
No.
And
it's already been out there, introduced into the wild.
And so I think like, but that's part of the problem is the argument is always like, get rid of every single gun or allow every single gun and every single mod and every single thing. And that's kind of what they push, but there's no middle ground of like, let's try to regulate some of this stuff.
Or
let's let responsible people have guns.
Or we could all just be on the lookout for crazy fucking people. Cause there's a lot more warning signs that crazy people are going to do something crazy.
The guy in was that Parkland, Florida? I want to say Parkland.
Parkland shooter. Yeah.
The system failed. People were calling and saying, this guy's crazy.
Yeah.
And then they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
The same government you expect to take people's guns away is the government that failed to like do anything in that case.
Yeah.
On multiple occasions.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't even just once. So I think that, and even the school, they were like, we're worried about him. End of day, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Yep. Not that worried.
I got to go protest gun control.
Yeah.
I can't help this individual. I got important stuff to discuss.
Yeah.
I'm writing a blog, I'll have you know.
Yeah.
It reaches tens of people.
That's these same people though, man.
I know.
Like the same people that you would expect to be like, well, like social workers. Like you want these compassionate, care about everybody's feelings, fucking use the right pronouns and shit type people to be social workers, because clearly you care.
Yeah.
You know, but clearly you don't care enough to fucking notice when somebody's getting picked on or is losing their shit and they're going to bring a gun to school. You don't care to go the extra mile to make sure that shit doesn't fucking happen. Right. You know?
When another student says, hey, I'm worried about this guy, and you go, oh, you're just being judgy. Yeah. You need to, he's special.
And they'll come back and make the argument like there are plenty of people that care. Don't get me wrong. I agree. There's tons of people that care, that make every effort, go the extra mile and everything.
Right.
But there's not as many people that are going the extra mile as there are that get out there and fucking march during this shit. If everybody that marched and like raised hell about this shit for gun control actually got involved and like did what they're trying to tell everybody else should have been done, like, and went the extra mile, you wouldn't have this shit happening.
Right. Well, but again, I think what they want to do is they want to take guns away. They don't want to work with it. They want, I mean, I don't know.
But we should just take them away for one day, you know? Or like we should I bet you it'd be easier to convince the people with guns to like just agree to put them in a storage location for like a month just to see what happens. Like, listen, we're going to put them here.
Well, but that would,
like, I bet you can.
That's anecdotal and it would never work.
These people are more reasonable with the law-abiding gun citizens are more reasonable in the sense that I bet you I could convince them to let me or have them put their guns in storage.
Right. That they only have a lock to or combination or like, even location maybe.
Right.
Like they can do it anonymously so no one's going in there and raiding it.
Right. And they get them back after a month. Right. Just, hey, can you put your guns in this place for a month? That way there's no guns out on the street except for legal guns out on the street and only the illegal guns, just so we can see how much crime increases. Right. I bet you they'd be willing to do that.
Yeah.
Knowing they were going to get their guns back just to prove the point that guns weren't the problem. You could convince them to do that before you could convince people that want all guns banned right now forever to reach a compromise or a middle ground.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think it's, again, though, on both sides, I don't think that those will ever happen. And even
they're not going to.
Even if it did, it's anecdotal because we don't have like these type of tragedies every month. I know like they try to say like there's been this many school shootings, you know, type of thing. But if you look at it, it's like, okay, well, you know, some of them aren't really school shootings so much as they are as like other issues, you know, like accidental discharge or someone who went in there and shot themselves. Like that wasn't them trying to shoot other people. Like they went in there to themselves, you know, type of thing. even murder-suicides.
Yeah.
Those are not acts of like, I'm going to mow down the whole school.
Right.
That's a targeted thing. And yeah, if he didn't have a gun, he couldn't do that. But those type of murder-suicides have been done by other things before, not just guns.
Right.
You know, you could run him over with a car and then
slam your car into a brick wall.
Exactly.
With no seatbelt on.
Yeah, I mean, there's people have done it different ways, and they still do. If they don't have access to a gun, they do other things.
Right.
You know.
Well, I mean, look. There's lack of guns in England, but terrorists still run people over with trucks.
Yeah, they rent a truck
in fucking France.
Well, wasn't that in Boston?
No.
Oh, it was two of them. Someone also did it in Boston, though. They rented like a truck from Home Depot and
that was New York.
Was it New York?
I think it was New York. Yeah, running people over.
And then it was the one on the bridge in London,
France. It was in France.
Yeah, but yeah, people that want to.
Maybe there was a London one too. There was a London.
I think there was. Yeah.
They just run people over
that
instead.
Want to inflict harm and damage on people will find
a
way. And so, but let's just say everyone did that, put their guns in storage, and nothing happened. They'd be like, "Look, it works." But then what happens on day 31 when someone decides to go do something bad? You know what I mean? Like, it's not enough data points to prove causality so much as it is.
What if there was just a dry spell for 30 days is what you're saying?
Yeah.
And then people with guns are like, see, not a problem. And
like everyone that was going to do that is so busy watching. I wonder if there's a crazy guy that's going to do something. Right. It's like, you're the crazy guy engaged in this, you know? And I don't know. I don't think that there's ever like...
It's not ever going to happen.
It's not black and white either.
I don't know, dude, but civil wars have happened before. That won't be good either.
No, but that's what I was getting at. I think that a lot of rational people, or at least have an understanding of like civil war, they know that it's never going to happen. But if they can make that argument and push their narrative and make it this thing, they know they're going to get news coverage. They know it's going to be a topic of discussion. They know they're going to have people calling out people. And it's almost like this. We want this divide. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It's instilled in us. In our society.
I don't think that any like main organizations or forces are ever going to try to come in and do it. And if the people that don't want guns try to start a civil war and be like, we're going to take all your guns, well, that's
like, a losing battle.
That's not really fair to them. They don't have any guns. Like,
it's not a very fair fight.
And then if they use guns, and it's like, see, if you didn't have the right to guns, you couldn't enact your Second Amendment to start the Civil War and revolt.
My concern is that there's only so much the law-abiding, like, rational gun owner people can take of, like, being, like...
The bad guy?
The bad guy. Yeah. Before they're like, oh, you want to see a bad guy? I'll become the bad guy. Because I'm tired of being labeled the bad guy.
Right.
When I'm not.
Yeah, there's this inside joke that we got accused of poaching someone from another company. Yeah. Even though we had nothing to do. In fact, when they came to us and were like, hey, I'm going to be leaving my company and I would like to go to you guys, we were like, we don't want any hard feelings. You know, we don't want them to think anything. And they still, to this day, are like, oh, well, you poached that guy. So the inside joke is like, they already accuse us of it. Yeah. So why don't we just go poach some of their people?
Exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, we're not, because it's...
If the glove fits.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
If I did it.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's like... These people can only take so much. There's a breaking point for everyone. And like... Not everybody's as mentally strong as everybody else.
And I feel like that's why I just don't get involved in it. Like, I'll make light of the situation. I'll turn it into something ridiculous and extreme. So people are like, oh, Jordan. Right.
Like,
yeah, don't talk to me about this stuff.
Play the middle ground.
Right.
That's where I try and stay.
Because I don't think that even if there was a solution that I liked, you might not like it.
Right.
And we've proven that before, that I like things that, you know, opinions and stuff that you don't share and agree with.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But at the same time, I can live in the world that we live in just fine.
So can I.
Humans adapt.
Yeah.
And we're good, you know. So, I don't know. I think I'm about wrapped, though. What are we at?
45, 14.
It's pretty good.
Good deal.
Yeah. All right.
Good back from hiatus.
Yeah. Little reunion tour.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Give it a week, and then the following week, every other week.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to shoot for.
My schedule is really busy until May, the first part of May, because we're going through these courses and stuff. So We'll try to be consistent. Love the likes, love the shares. Keep it up. Keep them coming.
Keep sharing. We want to grow this organically. If it's not organic, we're not going to sell out.
Yeah, we don't want to sell out.
I could go sell out.
We need, we got our papers.
Yeah. These papers of things.
Of
got a logo, finally.
Finally.
We approved it. Approved the final.
Did we approve it?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so we're going to get some stuff.
Went through some miscommunications, little dropping of the ball on responses.
Yeah.
We will not say which party was guilty of that, but it wasn't us. And so things are looking up. Things are good.
Get that logo and all those graphics and get those implemented.
Being positive. We still have this other one.
Spruce up the Facebook page and the YouTube page, and we got you.
Twitch. Yep. So good things to come. But yeah.
Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you later.
Thanks for listening. Feedback, everything.
Yeah.
Comments.
Yeah. Good job, Jarrell.
Peace.